Now that you have some experience with welding and working in the shop, we're going to talk about a new piece of equipment. This piece right here, which is known as a metal roller or a slip roller. This equipment is used to create curves in metal. It's got 3 long metal rollers that can roll material through. It's got several adjustments. On the bottom, you'll see some yellow knobs that look like this. These can be used to raise or lower the bottom roller. The bottom roller adjusts the tension, how tight it holds the material, so you adjust that based on how thick your metal is. There's one on either side. You want them to be even. Then towards the back of the machine, you see this other set of yellow rollers. This one moves the back roller closer or further away. This roller is what controls the radius or the degree of curve that you're going to create with the slip roller. For this next step in what you're doing in the studio, you will need several lengths of metal. You'll need one longer piece that's between 20 and 30 inches in size and 6 shorter pieces. These shorter pieces are going to be half the length of the longer piece minus 1/4 inch. So in my case here, I have one 30-inch piece of metal, and then I take half of 30, that's 15 inches, and subtract 1/4. So I have 6 14 and 3/4 inch lengths. To use this machine for metal rod, like we've been using in class, you're going to use one of the 3 grooves that's at the end. Pick one of them, doesn't matter which one, you're going to stick with it for every single curve that you make for a particular piece of artwork. You always approach this machine from the side that's got the 2 rollers stacked one on top of the other. You're going to slide the material through so that it hits the back roller or the radius roller at an angle and just kind of pokes up a little bit. You look down from the top, you can see that the metal is nestled in the groove on that back roller. So again, you're going to see me fit this into my chosen groove so that it goes in between the top and bottom rollers and is notched in the back roller. And then I'm going to take the handle and I'm going to move it clockwise. So over and under. You'll notice that the piece will come out the back. When it does, you want to grab it with your hands and hold it and continue to roll it through. The first time you roll it through, the back roller or the radius roller should be far enough apart that it's relatively straight. Then we're going to tighten it down a couple of turns, come back to our chosen groove, feed that metal through, and again clockwise. Once more, I grab the piece as it comes out the back and I hold it straight. If you don't take this step, if you don't grab the pieces that's coming out the back, the metal is going to want to torque on you. Instead of bending in a smooth curve, you'll get a curve and a twist. Once you've got it through a second time, tighten it a turn. Each time you go, you're going to tighten it a little bit less. You do not want to over bend this. You want to try to keep it a nice smooth curve. It's better to work it up 4 or 5 times to get it to the curve you want it to than to try to go too fast and have it fold over on itself. So now I'm turning it maybe a turn at most, running it through same groove. Safety concerns with this piece of equipment: in a very rare instance, somebody might get a finger caught in here or pulled in between the rollers. I think you'd have to try pretty hard to do that, but if it were to happen, the one thing you need to remember about this machine is that it's putting pressure on things, which means that what you don't want to do is roll the roller back again to try to get your finger out, because your finger's under pressure, and as it rolls back through the rollers, you'll basically pop the tip of your finger like a grape. Should you get your finger caught in there, I'm going to run right over and I'm going to open the machine up for you and we'll get you out of there. Fit it in and run it through. And now we've gotten it pretty much to a circle. When it gets really tight like this, to get it off, you'll just kind of pull it apart at an angle, and then you can take the metal and bend it back on itself or cross it over itself a little bit to get a nice, smooth, even circle. All right, so I'm going to give you a different view on this machine. I'm going to do the other parts that we'll need for our circle. You'll see that I've backed this roller on the back, the radius roller, way back open. Same thing, I fit the piece in through my chosen groove, and I'm going to run it through, and what I'm looking for is a very shallow angle. I don't want a complete round circle at this point, just a nice shallow angle to get started. I'll just bring all my pieces over here so it's a little easier. Same groove, grabbing it as it comes out the back, rolling it through. And I'm going to do all 6 of the extra pieces that I cut, those 14 3/4 inch pieces. This machine can sometimes be a little bit of a workout to use, but it shouldn't make you exhausted. You shouldn't feel like you have to push so hard that you're moving the machine across the floor. If that's the case, you need to check the distance between your top and bottom rollers, not the radius roller, but the top and bottom rollers. Make sure it's actually wide enough for your material to get through. If you ever have a question, you can call me over. Once you've got all 6 in, you're going to grab your circle that you made and you're going to compare. Does the amount of curvature in your 6 pieces match the amount of curvature in your circle? If not, you'll turn the machine a little tighter and run them through again. It shouldn't match the first time. You should want to work up to this. I'm actually going to tighten a little bit more because that did not do much for me. But again, it's better to err on the side of caution. I'll match these up. We're getting closer. So I'll run my other pieces of material through here one at a time. Again, we're working up to this, so I didn't try to make all the curve all at once. I'm going to do it bit by bit. If you only do one and then you try to get all the others through, it's not going to match a curve. In other words, what I'm saying is if you do the first one, you keep tightening and tightening and tightening with just that first one until it gets the perfect curve, and then you put the next one in, it's probably not going to curve exactly the same way, and you're going to end up with slightly uneven arcs. So every time you run one through, you should run them all through. Okay, last one. Again, I'm holding as it comes out so it doesn't torque. And then I can just compare all my arcs if I want to be really careful about it. Just make sure that they all match up. And here we see that the arc of the smaller pieces matches the arc of the circle pretty much perfectly. And that's what we're looking for. With the roller, there's always a little bit of a flat spot at the end of the curves. You don't need to worry about that for this particular assignment though. All right. The second video will teach you how to put this circle together. Any questions you have, bring them to class tomorrow.